Wow, I have to sit down for this one. I really have to sit down and share this one with you. This is a story of a man who was removed from a flight, a Ryanair flight that was leaving London Stansted Airport to Pisa Airport in Italy. And all this because he tested positive for coronavirus, COVID-19. The plane was delayed for a few hours. But this story beats me. This story is out of this world. It just shows you that as citizens of the world, we don't have the freedom of movement anymore. That freedom of movement is restricted right now. If you do research, you will find countries where you can go there and present your COVID-19 certificate and your travel insurance. Then you can just enjoy being in the country. Some countries might say, well, we are asking you to quarantine yourself for 7 days where you are staying and we will come and check. Other countries, they will enforce mandatory quarantine of 14 days at your own expenses, which means you have to pay for the hotel where they have placed you, and then they'll come and do their test every 2 or 3 days. And when you pay for the hotel, that includes meals. When I look at this situation, I would have been embarrassed myself if I was this gentleman. And sometimes these things, they affect you psychologically and emotionally, and they could stay in your head for a very, very long time. I don't know if there were young children involved. I wasn't there. Wow. Wow. This story here is what makes you think twice before you travel. Public health in many countries is different. And in England, they actually request everybody who intends to fly to different countries to take the test and wait for the results. But in this case, why didn't this man wait for those results before he started flying? Maybe just for selfish reasons. Maybe he wanted to infect everyone, who knows? Well, I cannot be the judge of that, and I cannot comment on that because I don't know him and I wasn't in the flight. It just shows that some of us just don't care about the rest of the world. If I was going to go somewhere and a rule that requires me to undergo a test first and wait for the results, then of course I'm not going to fly, because that means I'll be putting other people in harm's way, which is what this gentleman did. So I think the authorities, having stepped into the plane and went there and took him out of there with all the passengers in the flight staring at him and wondering what was happening, because the officials were dressed up in hazmat suit, as you can see in the video. It must have been embarrassing to him, but he brought that onto himself. He should have waited for the results first. Some people do have symptoms that do not show. What if he had the results and then just decided to go into the plane? He must have thought the authorities were not gonna catch up on that. Oh my, some people. Wow, man. After watching this video, I want you to ask yourself one thing. Would you really love to travel during the pandemic and go through all this? Well, it is better for you to do your research and pick countries which are not enforcing mandatory quarantine, because mandatory quarantine is going to leave a big dent in your pocket. It's going to cost you a lot of money. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and bring a friend or family member to the channel. Please share this video and help someone somewhere. And have a lovely day wherever you are, whatever you're doing.